Hello.
I'm so excited. Okay, I just said I would not do this, but it obviously I can't help it.
It's so good to see you.
Oh, I'm so happy to see you, Casey. Everyone, you are in such a treat. So, really, like, I am just going to take this second because there are two things that I want to let everyone who's watching know. I get so excited. I'm going to introduce Casey first. Casey, Casey Hopkins with Hazel Grace Ltd. If you don't know him now, you will. Let me just like put it out there, right? For a variety of reasons, he's incredibly talented and a genuine person that then makes him unstoppable personally.
Thank you
Casey,
so
thank you
much.
so much for your time today.
Absolutely, it's my pleasure. I'm so happy to do it.
And so the theme of, right, and this is the fact that Casey's here because he's going to share. We're going to have a conversation and it's going to be real. And the theme of it is about being bold in business, life, and design. Because that's a big part of what you do with clients and in your designs, right? I
Yes,
mean,
it is. I always try to not push, but suggest that people be bolder and they be brave in their design so that they can get what they actually want as opposed to what they think they want, which is usually a little bit limited, which is why they end up hiring a designer in the first place. So
mm,
it is my job to sort of see their vision and then push it just a little bit further.
yes.
So
And his
yes.
clients love him. His clients love him. And that weaves into who you are and your story. And it's a little bit of what I want to share with everyone. So, in Casey, without further ado, can you share a little bit about what? So, before you and I connected, what your life was like, what business was like, what you were experiencing?
Oh, absolutely. So this is like my second career. I'm a later in life designer. So I went back to school for 4 years and got my design degree, and everything was going really well. Right out of the gate, I was featured in Luxe magazine, and I was like, "This is fantastic. I'm going to have all of these clients, and it's going to be perfect." But I had no idea how to actually monetize that
Mm,
first big burst of my design in Luxe. And I just thought people will see it and they will call me and they'll think I'm fabulous because I'm so much fun to work with and la la la. Probably what every single designer thinks. And none of that really happened. Like I had some great clients that saw the article or I had worked with them and I was referred, or one of my friends would refer me because they're like, he's fabulous to work with. But it wasn't the level of career design that I wanted. It was couple of projects a year. Maybe one was really big, and the other ones were actually people that, not people, because they were all lovely, projects that weren't necessarily right for me. But at the time, every project was the right project. Like
mm,
anything that came my way, I would say yes to, because that's what you feel like you have to do. Like you're new, you're building a name for yourself, and there was no real goal, there was no real intention except to say yes to everything and try to get as much work as I could, which didn't work out particularly well for me. um, just because I wasn't super happy. So then when COVID hit, I took a job in
mm.
Utah because it seemed like the safest thing to do. Um, my family lives there. It was in Park City, which is a resort town. I would have all of this opportunity to work on really big projects and get the experience that I thought I needed and wanted at the time, but I was just wildly unhappy. And I was working for somebody, which was never my goal. I'm much happier to own my own business, and I always have been. Um, and I did learn a lot. I have nothing bad to say about the experience. It just wasn't right for me,
Yeah.
which is when I found you. So, as everybody does, I was on social media at night, just flipping through things, and I saw your video and watched it, and then I was like, "Oh my god! Like, is it good? Is it bad?" I did some research on your company, but really, what it came back to is that you're so authentic in your videos, and you're so easy to listen to, and you explain the process of what you are going to teach, but
Mm.
actually reaching out to you was, for some reason, very scary at the time. It seemed like it was investing a lot in myself, that I had already invested a lot in myself with school. And does marketing work for designers? We're so creative. People should just find us and it should be magic. Um, so I had watched your video like literally 9 times. And it took me probably a good month and a half before I reached out to, before I clicked that button that says, if you want to know more, book an appointment with you, which is how we met.
Mhm. Yes, it
So that's
is.
sort of how I got here.
Well, and it's so powerful that, you know, you had a major milestone at the very beginning. Like being
Yeah,
featured in Luxe, I mean, there are designers out there who right now I can just imagine are just crossing their arms because, you know, 15,
it was
5,
amazing. It
10,
was,
15 years.
yeah, it was such a project that I just sort of fell into because I had a lot of friends in the design community. The designer who had worked with this client had moved to another state and she was busy and she was like, I just can't do it. Um, could you do this project? So it was amazing because it ended up to be in this historical mid-century 1960s house, and the design was really specific but really cool and beautiful.
Mm,
So it was so flattering, and to be so early in my career and be featured in like a big publication in the Northwest was huge. But then it's wildly embarrassing not to know how to turn that into more clients, or
mm,
know that you have to reach out to people and that you have to stay in contact with people. You think that you're going to be featured once, everybody's going to see you and everybody's going to want to work with you. But there's so many other designers out there who are doing so much more than just sitting in the studio going, hey, where is everyone? Like, I showed up in Lux. Why are you showing up in my studio? But of course they're not.
mhm, mhm. Well,
So it
it's
was so nice to be have that recognition and have that opportunity, but then it ended up just, I felt a little bit paralyzed and a little bit embarrassed by not understanding how to keep that momentum going. And to be honest, I just didn't.
Well, I love that you bring it that you share this, and I wanna thank you and honor you because this is a very vulnerable feeling, and I know that there are designers out there who feel the same way,
Yeah.
that they've had a major pop or they thought this one thing would happen and it would all be fixed and, and then reality set in that it wasn't the end all be all.
Yeah, it's so funny
And
because you go to school and you learn all of this art theory and all of these amazing things that make you such a great designer and be able to speak to the art world and design and tell these visual stories of people's lives. But they never say, like, you have to talk about your career constantly. You're not,
Mm,
nobody's giving you a paycheck. Nobody's contributing to your 401k. There's this entire business aspect of it that you're in charge of. And part of that is marketing your brand and figuring out your brand and helping people find you as a designer because there's so many
mm,
of us out there and we're all so talented and there's a client for everybody. But there's some work
mm.
involved in letting people know that you're here.
Yes. Yes. Being seen. That
Yeah,
is.
yeah. So I love talking
So
about it because if I can help any designer not be paralyzed for as long as I was, it's worth it because it's just a gigantic waste of time.
mm,
When you could be building this life that you want and this career that you love, um, and you're not because you're kind of embarrassed to talk about it and you're proud of your projects, but people are like, why aren't you more successful and why aren't you busy all the time? Because you've done a commercial project, you did a big bar downtown, you were featured in Lux, and it's like, I don't know. Until I met you, which was changed all of that for me in a wildly short amount of time.
no. Well, and let's talk about that, right? So
Right.
the power of the fact that you took action and you pressed that button.
Yeah.
You press that button, you book that call, right?
I did.
And, do you mind sharing, like, some of the results, some of the things that have happened since then?
Not at all. It was really fun to meet you for the first time because you're so inspiring, honestly, to talk to because you're very excited about the design world. You're very excited to help people move past their hurdles. And so it was really exciting to talk to you, but you presented the program and it was like, oh, do I want to spend this money on myself? Do I deserve to invest
Mm,
again into this aspect of the business that, like, people have mixed sort of opinions about what will help with design and what won't. And I tried a lot of things. Um, but it's marketing, really marketing yourself, that changed everything for me. But it really wasn't just that. When we started working together and we would go through these programs and we would talk every month, or every couple of weeks, it changes your mindset on how you approach your career and yourself. So you gave me a lot of tools that I've used and implemented, and it's been great. But what really changed for me is I had all of these ideas in my head. It just like opened a whole world of things that I could be doing that I wasn't doing at all. And
mm,
you talk a lot in the beginning about setting intention and um, finding the right people to work with, which I wasn't doing at the time. But then just your mind gets flooded with all of these ideas that are based on these little seeds that you sprinkle throughout the entire program. And that's what was so helpful because then you are sort of empowered and you realize, oh, I can do all of this. None of it is, I mean, it seems like stuff that everybody should know, but we don't until somebody tells you what to do. And then all of these new sort of avenues start opening up to find clients and not just find any client, but find the right client to work with, which was my big problem. Like when you have to
mm,
like choose, when you're going through the exercise, for example, of who is your client, who do you want to work with, it sort of changes the mindset of, oh, they're hiring me, I'm here for them, which they are doing, but you're working collaboratively and you're working together. And as a designer, there are some projects that I don't want to work on. You know, I don't want to remodel a nursery. That's not where my strengths lie. And when you identify who your people are and how they relate to you personally, they do start to
mm,
show up. And it starts to be a lot easier to reach out to these people and find these people. And then when you're approached for something that's clearly a wrong fit, instead of just taking it because it's like, oh, I need that $3,000 design fee. It's like, yeah, I could do that, but what is the impact on my life going to be? And what is this project preventing me from doing to get the project that I
mm.
want? You know what I mean? That was always
Yeah.
my problem. Say yes to everything and you will all of a sudden be successful. But I feel like I was kind of selling myself short and not honoring who I am as a designer by saying yes to everything. There are things that I should absolutely say no to. I am not the designer for that person. And
And
there's
there's nothing
nothing
wrong
wrong
with
with
that.
it. There's nothing wrong with that. But the power in realizing that that's appropriate to do is a complete game changer. And I
Mm.
never would have realized that if I hadn't worked with you. So thank you so much. It has completely changed my entire business since I've come back to the Northwest.
I have, I'm short of words only because it's such an honor to work with you, and I'm
Oh, thank
so,
you.
humbled because you're letting your like, who you are shine, and and the you had you are who you are, so it's not like all of a sudden you woke up and you're this brand new person,
Right.
but the empowerment and the confidence in in moving through the process of, obviously business, but selecting and honoring yourself and honoring the other, the prospect to say like, yes, let's do it. Or like, you know what? Not so much. It's just so beautiful.
I think
And
it's so important to recognize that because you're not doing your best design if you're miserable with the project
mm,
and
mhm.
it doesn't turn out as well. It's fine, but who wants to do just fine design? No one.
Yes, no one, right? Mm-mm. I mean, maybe someone and like, okay, but no, no. Yeah, definitely one of the things that you and I know we have the same eye to eye on is the fact that this is our one life.
Yeah,
This is the chance. This is the time
yeah,
that if
yes, it is. You
go.
need to make it fantastic, this is the only shot you got.
Yes. Yes. You know, sometimes, you shared a little bit about you watched it 9 times, which really I just will be totally honest. The first time he told me that, I blushed. I just want everyone to know that you watched this the 9 times before taking action, right?
Yes, I did.
For those designers who are out there who may have had a similar experience, like they had a major pop and then a fizzle, or they have been just going through this, trying to figure this out, business. Maybe
Yeah,
they have clients that they do not like, right? Or whatever the situation may be. And sometimes they're on the fence. They haven't taken that action yet, either because they're concerned about investing in themselves or about what other people might say or think. Um, what would you say to a designer who's on the fence about taking the next step?
um, just heart-to-heart advice with whoever is watching this, don't wait another day to, invest in yourself and learn these skills. The things that I learned with you, um, changed my complete approach to finding new clients, and every single day you put it off is just one more day that you're not being your authentic self, building a life that you're proud of, starting to make those changes so that you're not working on weekends and you're not answering the phone at 8 o'clock and you're not panicked um, every time a project ends because you don't know where your next project is coming from. If you don't make some kind of change and some kind of investment in yourself, everything will just remain the same for your entire career. So my advice is stop it. You're being silly.
Take the action, yeah.
The
And let me
action. Exactly. Nothing changes until you change something that you're doing,
Mhm,
you know?
mhm.
Sitting there paralyzed with, "Oh, will this work or if it won't work?" It works. It works if you make it work, and that's
Mm,
just the key. It's not like it's a big magic formula where you sit back in your chair and drink your coffee and people just show up at the door. Like, there are things and skills and new ideas that you have to implement, but they're exciting, and
mm,
you start connecting with more people, and then that's more exciting, and then people start to talk to you about bigger projects, and that's really exciting, and then you want to do more of that. It's a whole part of your business that I didn't understand, that you set aside time every single day to work on constant contact with people that you've worked with, or reaching out to new real estate agents, or reaching out to builders that you respect and admire and would like to meet with. Like,
mm,
there's a bunch of things that I do every single day to grow my business because it's not work, which it was before because I didn't understand how to do it. And when you don't understand something, it's scary. And it's like, oh, how do I, if your goal is to increase all your followers or get more followers on Instagram or Facebook or something, you don't know how to do that until somebody tells you. I wanted to connect with more people and get bigger projects and more exciting projects. And you have to set aside time every day. So don't wait because just waiting keeps you in the exact same place forever. And then you get trapped in your head, and then it's no
and then
fun.
it's a spiral.
And then it is a spiral. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and, we, your experience and that feeling of people saying, well, what's wrong? Why aren't things better? Why da 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 da? The advantage that we have is there's no judgment on this side. like there's no judgment because business is real.
Yeah.
Design changes lives. There are pieces that do need to be in place. And if you don't know it, you just don't know it. It's not your fault. You're not bad. You're not wrong.
Right.
Right. And so for all designers watching this, if any of this resonates with you, if you have watched, so if you have opened every email, if you have watched all the videos and you're done being stuck in the same place and you want to take Casey's advice to take action, please go here. Because this breakthrough call.us, this is how Casey and I connected.
And it is transformative and it's completely life-changing for your business. I guarantee it.
And there you go.
There you
go. Casey, such a true pleasure. I cannot wait to see you in person so I can just hug you and just probably jump up and down a lot. I'm sure people, who knows what they will think, and I don't care because who you are in this life, in the industry, is a true gift. And thank you so much for your time and for sharing more of who you are and what you experienced with everyone here.
Thank you for asking. Like, I dig you so much and you have been so helpful to me. And I just hope everybody that wants to move forward contacts you.
Thank you. Well, until then, everyone be well, be bold, as Mr. Casey would recommend. And I'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.